Well, it's a great pleasure to have my friend, former Senator Rick Santorum, on the program. How are you, Senator?
Well, now I'm doing much better. Thank you. It's great to hear your voice, and great to be on your program again, Mark. Thank you.
Now, why are you doing much better? You're in the green room at Fox. What, did they give you a donut or something?
No, you know what? Fox is pretty cheap as green rooms come. I mean, no
Oh,
food.
really?
You know, they got some old coffee here. It's not. You know, I don't know. Maybe they're struggling. I don't know what's going on.
No, it's a little late in the day. Maybe somebody stole the food. You never know.
That could be.
Well, now, people are saying, have you noticed, they're reading, let's take a second look at Rick Santorum. Have you seen some of that?
I have, and you know, it's starting to happen. We feel very good about the message. We've been out there with a strong message on the economy. You know, getting rid of the IRS. Lowering rates, getting that Reagan 28% top rate.
Now, hold on. Let me slow you down. Now, getting rid of the IRS. What do you mean by that?
Well, it just basically, throwing out the old tax code, replacing it with a tax code that just has 5 deductions in it. Very simple, 2 rates, 10 and 28. 28 because that's what Reagan did. If it was good enough for Reagan, it's good enough for me. And get rid of the corporate tax and for manufacturing, cut it in half for everybody else. Make it more of a net profits tax. So you just make things simple. You make it more efficient. You get folks focused on running their business instead of complying with the tax code. And you keep rates low, and you get the economy going. And that's what we're all about. And
now,
we're getting a lot of good feedback out there on the road.
One of the things you're very concerned about, we've talked about this, is the industrial heartland of this nation, as well as the Northeast and other parts, and you want us to build back our industries by by unleashing them, basically.
Yeah, absolutely. That's why I take the corporate tax and cut it to zero, because we're losing the competition to China. I think Americans want to see made in America on our products. They want those blue-collar jobs back. If you look at the unemployment rate among folks who do not have college education, it's over 10%. And among college-educated, believe it or not, even today, it's only 4.4%, the unemployment rate. So, what's happened in this knowledge-based economy is a lot of blue-collar workers are finding their pay is lower and their opportunities for work is going away. And if we're going to have a strong economy that's going to reach everybody, and not just blue-collar workers, but rural America, small-town America, you go to those are the areas that have the highest rates of unemployment. They have people are fleeing to the bigger cities because there are no jobs. We're breaking apart the family. We're breaking apart small-town America and the values that go with it. We need to restore manufacturing here. We need to get those jobs for those blue-collar workers in those small towns to provide hope. And you're right. It's also a good political strategy. I hate to put it that way, but it is, because it's the industrial heartland of America that is going to decide this race one way or the other, and that's exactly what our plan is geared toward.
And Obama sees it. He's running around talking about how he's now the savior of the middle class while he's destroying it with his policies. Seems to me what you're saying is, no, I got a better idea.
Yeah, boy, I got a better idea. How about let's go on out there and having the government create a platform for a playing field that we can compete on and get these jobs back, instead of having the government pay you 99 weeks of unemployment benefits and having the government expand the Medicaid program to put you on Medicaid, or having the government expand the food stamp program to put you on food stamps so you can become dependent upon them. How about we cut a lot of those programs, create an opportunity for people to be able to get work so they are self-reliant, they can provide for themselves and their family, they can donate money to their churches and their community organizations, and they can build a stronger family and a stronger community, which is exactly how America transformed the world.
Mm-hmm. Now, is Donald Trump still having this debate, do you know?
My understanding is he has, and when my feeling was when Newt Gingrich said he would do it, then I'm going to come. As long as Newt's going to be there, I'm coming. I want to be. I need the opportunity and want the opportunity to go face to face with Newt, and I'm looking forward to it.
I just find it fascinating that people say, well, that kind of downgrades the process, when you guys are involved in debates sponsored by Politico, for crying out loud.
I mean, look, having sat through Brian Williams and Charlie Rose and Anderson Cooper, let me assure you, Donald Trump agrees more with me than any of those guys do, and I think that he's going to give us a fairer shake and actually see the world a little bit more than we do than those guys. So, and of course, those guys went in there with the idea that they were going to pit Republican against Republican and try to throw a stink bomb in there and hope to shake things up. Donald Trump, look, Newt and I are. We're big guys. We can handle ourselves. I'm not worried that Donald Trump's going to dominate this. We're the ones running for president, and if we can't handle Donald Trump, then we shouldn't be running.
And most of these complaints come from the establishment that really doesn't want you to win anyway. Am I right about that?
Well, we're not, as you know, I'm not really focused a whole lot on the establishment right now. They made their choice. And they've gone out there and tried to promote, one candidate or another now for months. And what we decided to do, we would rely on the good folks of Iowa, New Hampshire, and South Carolina. We're spending all but 3 days, actually now all but 2 days in Iowa between now and the end of the year and to the caucus time. And we're gonna devote our energy to letting the people of Iowa get a chance to see what real leadership is all about. With someone who's worked with the conservative cause and stood up courageously on national security issues and talked about Iran and at a time when everyone was saying, no, we can't be talking about Iran and we're losing the war in Iraq and we're losing the war in Afghanistan. Don't talk about Iran. And I said, but Iran is working on getting a nuclear weapon. And, we had the courage to stand up and stick to our convictions in good times and in bad. And I think that's what the folks, not just in Iowa, but across this country are looking for.
Well, I'm going to tell you something. If you were to get the nomination, I know who would be wetting in there whatever they wear. It would be the people who run the Islamo-fascist regime in Tehran. They would be scared to death of you.
Well, look, it's very well known that the strong horse in the Middle East is what gets the job done, and that if you are weak, and this president is weak, he was weak in Iran. He is pathetic when it comes to Syria. Look at what has happened with the quote Arab Spring. It's a very chilly spring in Egypt right now, with the Muslim Brotherhood and the radical Salafi Islamists now are going to take huge.
Wait a minute,
control
can you say that last group fast 3 times? What are they?
Salafist.
I'm just kidding you. I know. Okay, yes.
But no, Salafi Islam is the radical form, is the Islamist, if you will. They have a radical interpretation of the Quran, and by the way, the Muslim Brotherhood has a similar interpretation. I don't know what separates the two, to be very honest.
What separates them is the one wears a suit and jacket, and the other one doesn't.
There you go. Okay, but the ideology is the same, and it's radical. And the people, just so your folks know, and I'm sure you've told them this, but the intellectual roots of the Muslim Brotherhood, which started in the 1920s, is the same intellectual roots of the Al-Qaeda. I mean, there's no difference. I mean, it's Sayyid Qutb and Hassan al-Banna. These are folks that were Egyptians, who were radicals, who were who thought that Islam was failing and not defeating the West because it was not orthodox enough. It was not virile. It was not adhering to the most radical tenets of the religion, and that's where this Muslim Brotherhood came from. And it's now going to control Egypt. It's now going to control, in all likelihood, Libya. We don't know about Tunisia.
I've got a minute or two left,
and
that's all. And I want you to focus on Did you hear Obama's speech yesterday?
I did not. I was traveling all day yesterday. I've heard excerpts. I've heard, all right,
hold on then. I want you to address President Obama directly for the next 90 seconds about a speech that gets into class warfare and the collective will of the people and all this sort of thing.
Yeah,
Go
what
ahead.
I read was it looked like it was right out of Marxist tradition, which look. People
all right, now wait a minute. Now all the loons out there, he called him a Marxist. No, he said it comes out of Marxist tradition. These fools don't even know what you're talking about,
right.
Rick.
Well,
that's what drives me nuts.
Well, here's the interesting thing, Mark. People have said that Barack Obama is incompetent, and that's why the economy's not doing well, and we're having troubles overseas. And the president is not incompetent. The president knows exactly what he's doing. He is a disciple of Saul Alinsky. He is someone who has lamented that the Constitution is deficient because it didn't provide for a clause for the redistribution of wealth. The president knows exactly what he's doing. The president wants to transform this country. Winston Churchill said, in one of his greatest quotes, that the debate is not about the future, it's about the past. And if you look at how Barack Obama sees America's past, if you read his speeches, he sees it as capitalism as a failure, as the institutions of our culture are broken and bigoted and racist. This is a president who fundamentally sees America as something that needs to be radically changed. That's why he ran on hope and change. And the change is exactly what he articulated, at least from what I see in his speech, which is a very different America than the America that transformed the world, that believed in strong families with a faith tradition, free people, and free markets, building a just and great society from the bottom up.
Man, I'd love to see you debate him. Rick Santorum, what is your website?
It's ricksantorum.com, and I understand, Mark, I saw a lot of reports that you said some very good things about us and, as who you might be willing to vote for, and I can tell you, once you said that, our website started to buzz, and we picked up a lot of donations, and I just want to thank you. You're a great American out there fighting the great fight and doing it as smartly. You are ahead of the curve, and when you say that I'm one of the folks that you could support, that meant a lot to me personally, and it's been a great help to us, and I thank you for that.
Well, it's a great honor. It really is. You're a man of enormous character. You're very consistent conservative. And even when you disagree to some extent, you explain yourself articulately. And you're not going to allow our enemies to get the upper hand, and that's crucial. Rick Santorum, be safe out there, my brother.
God bless you, buddy. Take care.
God bless you. Take care. I like that man. He'd be a very, very excellent president.